can we forget? How can we forget 2020 when we once thought it was such a bright, promising number for a new year? How can we forget that? For the first time in 100 years, we experienced crisis on a scale we thought could only happen in a Hollywood movie. How can we forget that people struggled not only with the pandemic, but also faced extreme natural disasters? Inequality, racism, and violent political tension. How can we forget the superheroes dressed in white and blue who gave it all for strangers, including their own lives? How can we forget that kids had to adjust to a new life without their friends and teachers? Yet some showed maturity beyond their years, doing their part to stay safe and protect others. How can we forget all those businesses that stood strong and successful in January, but are now gone? How can we forget that depression became the other illness so many of us shared in 2020? Or that family and friends became our therapists as we struggled? History has taught us that we cannot forget all this. Instead, we must remember, because humans become more resilient through adversity. We need to remember that we are survivors and victors, that we have people who care for and love us, so that we can focus on what matters most. Even though the pandemic requires us to be socially distant, we've devised innovative ways to stay close and keep those bonds tight. In one way or another, we have come to the realization that there are changes to be made across the spectrum of life on Earth, and that big changes start small. Coronavirus has served us as a mirror to our mortality, showing each of us where we stand as a human and what we can do for others. If we choose not to forget, but to remember and learn, we will step from the darkness of 2020 into the light of a brighter future.